Rapper Gangstalicious has been shot.
Again?
Again. Rapper Gangstalicious has been shot.
Again?
Again.
I was so desperate for information on the shooting, I watched that show my brother calls The News.
Oh,
PNB Rock is no longer with us. A Pookie and a Ray Ray, who was broke and dusty, decided that because they didn't want to work hard, they will go ahead and try to botch a robbery and take our brother's life. Like to talk
Oshay,
about.
let me stop you there. So PNB Rock is dead. He's as dead as a rock. He was shot to death, and I must admit, I didn't know who he was until he was shot. But I don't understand why people are getting worked up. He's a rapper, and getting shot for rappers is like a job hazard. It comes with the job, it should be expected. I saw a headline on The Guardian that read, "It's a war zone. Why is a generation of rappers dying young?" I'm gonna post it somewhere in this video so you can see for yourself. Have you ever seen a rapper live till 100 or 90? That's the question I'm going to ask the writers of that article. So they make it seem like it's a new phenomenon. But since I was born in the 90s, late 90s or mid to late 90s, since I started watching TV and the news, rappers have always been getting shot as frequently as the sun rises. In fact, 7 months after I was born, a rapper was shot and killed. His name was Stretch. I'm not sure anyone watching this video remembers the guy. 10 months after Stretch was shot, another rapper named Tupac Shakur was shot and killed. He was 25 years old when he died. Stretch was 27 years old. So, mind you, between that space of 10 months and 7 months, a lot of lesser known small-time rappers have all been shot and killed. These are just the more famous guys that made the news. So my advice to every person watching or any rapper watching is your ego is not worth your life. Your pride, your jewelry, street cred, a crib, car, all those things are not worth your life. Or Dodge courage, false bravado are not worth your life. Impressing friends isn't worth your life. So that being said, it seems being a firefighter is safer than being a rapper. Working as an EMT nurse is safer than being a rapper. Being a truck driver is safer than being a rapper. And just to give you a picture of what I'm talking about, in 2021, just last year, 50 truck drivers died, and all of them were over 35. In that same year, 2021, at least 20 world famous rappers were shot to death. They were all under 35. Many more died from other things such as DMX. He died from cocaine-induced heart attack. Others like Draco was stabbed to death at the backstage after a show. But I consider all those work-related deaths. So altogether, at least 250 known rappers died in 2021 from what I consider work-related deaths. That's beef, guns, girls, drugs. You know, I think weapons were number 1 cause of deaths for rappers, then drugs number 2. So imagine having over 250 deaths in a year, and they're like 365 days in a year. So that's like a death per day. So I wonder why people are shocked. If you made a collage of all the rappers who were killed by gun or violence or drugs, this video will take forever. And rappers do not live long, like I've said earlier. Young Dolph was 23, I think. No, he was in his 20s. He was killed by someone who was 32 and another guy who was 23. They are both between 32 and 23. Then a lot of rappers, Scotty LaRock died at 25, Paul C 24, Danny Diboy Rodriguez 22, Charisma 20, Stretch 27, Seagram 26, Tupac Shakur 25, Yaki Gaddafi 19, Notorious B.I.G. died at 24. Can you believe it? Notorious B.I.G. died at 24. Fat Pat was 27, Big Girl was 24, Freakita 27, Jam Master J 37. That's like the oldest person on the list, 37. Jam Master J. Sabotage 29, Camouflage 21, Soulja Slim 26, Dollar 21, Lily 23, Magnolia Shorty 28. Like there's a whole lot of names. Lil Fat 19, Dallas 20. I'll just stop there. There's a whole lot of names. Nipsey Hussle was 33, Pop Smoke was 20, Houdini was 21. Man, they're all young. But the point behind this video is fans of these guys really need to stop disturbing us online. I mean, what do you expect? For these guys to live till 100 is impossible. I mean, they live fast, and when you live fast, you die young. Most likely. The faster and brighter you burn, the faster you burn out. You cannot expect to live long when you challenge your fellow criminals online and offline. On Twitter, with your songs, on award shows, and every other possible way you get. And you keep calling people out, keep challenging people to show up, turn up, and all that. You get shot. And even if you aren't a criminal, but your team, air quotes, your team is filled with gang members and ex-convicts, you cannot live long. I mean, when you roll with killers and bad guys, what do you expect? When you have those bloodthirsty wild animals around you, those gangbangers, sooner or later, when they run out of easy victims, they'll come for your own blood. They need the blood to survive. And I'm sure they will not mind getting it from you, even though you think you're a friend. When you live with mosquitoes and snakes, don't be surprised you get bitten. When you flaunt jewelry in the face of stark poverty, not just stark poverty, but extremely high greed. Extremely high greed. You should not expect to go back home in one piece. So fans of these guys, please and please stop with the hashtag free whatever rapper is in jail when they get arrested for crimes they most likely committed. And if you're a member of any of these gang, cult groups, and whatever it's called, you should already know you have signed your death warrants. Most of them are gang members, so they have all signed their or wannabe gang members. So the amazing thing is most of these rappers people advocate for all have extensive criminal records. Even the highly respected ones who ended up becoming victims of crime. Ended up becoming victims of crime themselves. People like XXX Tentacion. He had faced a variety of legal issues throughout his lifetime, and most notably of the controversies was the battery charges which were levied against him in 2016 when he was just 18 years old. He had a lot of legal issues. There was alleged violence. In 2012, he was arrested for possession of marijuana. He served 7 months for that. Shortly after his release, he stole a laptop. He was arrested for breaking and entry. Shortly after, in 2014, he was charged for illegal possession of firearm. After he came out of that, in 2016, he stabbed his manager and fled with his manager's laptop. The charges were dropped by the manager, even though the manager suffered life-altering injuries just a few days after being bailed from stabbing that guy and almost killing him. Again, he was arrested. This time he was charged for robbery, assault with a deadly weapon, and home invasion after he stole an iPhone, a PlayStation, an iPad, and $20. In 2016, he was sentenced to 6 years. But before that, while he was awaiting trial, he was arrested again, this time charged with aggravated battery of a pregnant woman, domestic battery, false imprisonment, and witness tampering. And that was XXX Tentation. PNB Rock. At age 13, he was sent to a youth detention program for committing robberies and fighting in school. When he was 19, he was sentenced to 33 months in prison for drug possession and other crimes. For Young Dolph, in 2017, he released a track. I'm not going to talk about all that, but you know what happened. Basically, beef with gangsters. He got shot 100 times, but his bulletproof car saved him. Instead of hiring security and remaining in the bulletproof car, he went on to make an album titled Bulletproof in September 2017. He was shot again multiple times. In 2018, he released a song titled N-Word Get Shot Every Day, referencing this prior incident. So he got shot twice. He was still moving around without security, still moving alone in the same hoods and ghettos he got shot in. For what? To prove what? We should have been smarter. Pop Smoke, his real name Jackson, was expelled from 8th grade for bringing a gun to school. He spent 2 years in house arrest after being charged with possessing a weapon. In 2020, he was arrested by federal authorities at JFK after stealing a Rolls Royce. He was affiliated with Crips, JS9, and other Brooklyn street gangs. That was Pop Smoke. For Nipsey Hussle, he was a member of the Rolling 60s Crips, one of LA's biggest sets, in quotes. So from the time he was a teenager, he never denied being affiliated to them. And in fact, once his music took off, he made sure to let everybody know in every single song that he was affiliated with the Crips. Ironically, in a 2018 interview with Hot 97, Nipsey Hussle said being a gang member afforded him protection. And I think all it does is put a bullseye on your back. But Nipsey Hussle thought it offered him protection. But I feel and I know that I'm right because of his tragic demise at the hands of the same gangbangers. The very thing he alleged was meant to protect him. And in an interview with NPR, if I remember correctly, a year before he was shot, he said something along the lines of, if you check the stats, the murder rates in the years I was a teenager and the incarceration rates in LA in my section of the Crenshaw district of the rolling 60s when I was 14, 15, none of my peers survived. None of my peers avoided prison. None of them. That's quoting Nipsey Hussle. But it is sad that he wasn't able to see the bigger picture, that he himself hadn't survived yet. He was merely the last victim. Death and incarceration were both moving door to door, and it hadn't reached his door yet. Till a year after this NPR interview, death came knocking.
listen to it and the folks who really talk about it, like those people in that space, there's a certain like level of evil that I feel from that. And it's not comfortable. It's like, I don't even, like when I listen to I'm a Piano, or even like in the back in the day at 90s R&B, even 90s, I didn't get that sort in great detail. I kind of deal with the red pill version of celebrity, but these people, it's a different spirit, bro. Which is why I don't even go out. If I go to America, I don't even go out. I don't even go out. It's sad.